Ravage, aka Sweet Low, was just recently released, I think yesterday, and it is a rape revenge movie. We've seen plenty of these, but hey, sometimes they're fantastic and sometimes they are lackluster. Now, this is a fairly basic premise. I mean, it kind of follows the same beats as any rape revenge movie that you've seen. This has a small part from Bruce Dern in this movie, but it's pretty damn good. I did like his dialogue. I like his delivery. Bruce Dern is kind of the same guy in every movie these days. But I don't care. I've always liked the character. I always liked the guy. So seeing him in here was cool. Now, the main girl in this witnesses some guys abusing a man, beating the shit out of him. I think he's tied up. We don't really get to see it, to be completely honest. You just kind of, it's not implied per se, but it's very quick that you see anything. It's kind of done this like rapid succession of like jump cuts. So, but you can put it together. And of course she says it as well. She then takes photographs of this because she's a nature photographer that's out there, photographing nature. And so she comes upon this, takes the snaps, goes to the cops, and of course things go downhill from there and people get a hold of her, yap. There are questionable moments in this film. Now, the highlights of this film is that our main girl here is a fucking badass, dude. She just wrecks people. Almost so much so that I feel like the film moves too fast for its own good. And while I don't need to sit there and watch a 45-minute rape sequence or something like I do when I Spit on Your Grave, the incident in which she's attacked is just pretty much cut away from and glossed over, and it's just implied what happened. Which, as I said, I definitely don't need to see it, but I would have liked to see, I know this sounds terrible, but I would have liked to have seen her being abused more, just so that I could feel for her character more. I get it. It's terrible. It's rape. I'm immediately on board with her killing these guys. I'm there 100%. But I just feel like had I seen them torture her just a little bit more, this is kind of something that they always do in any rape revenge movie, whether it's, revenge or you name them, doesn't matter. But there is this, like, you almost got to earn the catharsism of the film by sitting through some brutality of it. And this one just kind of skips it, and it does it a little bit more tastefully. So for some people that might be better. I just found it to be so jarring that it was like, oh, we're just done with that? Okay, now she's just off killing. And so it's just kind of like a montage of her, not montage exactly, but it's just kind of a series of her just killing people, and it kind of happens easily, and you're just like, okay, but I don't really feel for this right now. And plus the performance when she's out there, she never really seems all that miffed by what's happening to her. You know how, like, when you watch any movie where somebody's being chased or has been brutalized or has lost people or whatever, they look frantic, they look frazzled, this chick just doesn't look that way at all. And I guess maybe they're just trying to present her at this air of, like, not confidence, but that she just can handle her shit, that she's tough, that she's strong-spirited. I get that, but it almost feels like a lack of emotion, and with it, I don't feel as much empathy for her because I don't feel like she's portraying any kind of sorrow or even her revenge in the film doesn't feel cathartic. Because when it happens, it's very disconnected. It's not like she has a range of emotions during it. It's very cold. Then, as badass as she is, then she, of course, makes some really, really fucking dumb-ass decision at the end of the movie, and you just go, what? This character wouldn't do that, especially in this moment of all times. I will give movie credit for having the ending that it did. I thought it was bold, and I thought it was different, and I was a fan of it, but there was just too many things lacking for me throughout for me to have enjoyed the rest of my time with the film. There's things I can cherry pick from this film that I did really appreciate of the movie. There's also a tow truck scene that makes no sense to me. I don't see how that could even be possible, but I'm not saying it's impossible. It just seemed extremely improbable. But I will just chalk it up to she was too frazzled. But that's my point. Like, she never seemed all that frazzled except for when she goes into the police station. That's the only time where she really feels frantic to me. Outside of that, there's even a scene, and I almost wanted to film it or copy it off. And there's a scene where she's like running, and she's running from people, and it just looks like she's out for a leisurely jog. And I wanted to film it and be like, what do you think's happening in this moment right now? Like, what do you think this scene is? Without any context, please tell me what this girl's conveying. And I know people know I watch horror movies, so I'm sure they would be like, well, I don't know, she's probably running from a killer. But if I just sent it to anybody randomly and they didn't know what I was watching, they'd be like, I don't know, a girl's out for a jog. Like, there's no emotion to her in those scenes. And then they introduce a character towards the end. They talk about this character very, very mildly for like a moment here or a moment there, but they're never introduced, and they're supposed to have this emotional impact to them, and they're supposed to add like to your caring and all this of the thing. And it was like, whoa, this is way too late. Whoa, why are we doing this now? I mean, we got like 5 minutes left in this movie. Like, who is this person? Where did they come from? Like, how did they play into this? Like, I get what you're trying to pull off here, but we would have had to have introduced this character a long, long time ago. We should have had some scenes with this character for this to even matter. So that was all just such weird choices. Then they make weird choices with her decision, and I feel like with just a minor tweak here and there of just some writing, you could have easily rectified some of these issues. Her performance is an issue. And just some of the choices in the film, and then just kind of the pacing of the film, and a character decision not really being in the film. I mean, those are a lot of main gripes. So I did feel like I was going to be able to recommend this fairly quick into it because of how, how revenge-centric this film kind of is. It's like skips the rape, gets straight to the killing, and I was like, all right, but the kills aren't all that inventive, great. There's nothing you haven't seen before, so it's nothing memorable. So yeah, it's just a kind of a ho-hum film that shouldn't be. I feel like it has the potential, like with the director's vision of this, of like, fuck it, like we'll just skip the rape, we'll just get to the killing. It's like, all right, I mean, I could get on board with that, but at least, land that. So yeah, damn, I really wanted to like this one, and I didn't really care for it. Oh well, let me know if you watch it. Adios.